The Range Rover Sport is a quiet cruiser with a classy cabin and a comfortable ride. It's also more practical than most premium SUVs.
So I'm here driving a lovely Range Rover Sport Autobiography with Ben. Ben's going to help us talk through the car. This is a sport car, so it should feel a bit stiffer and a bit more dynamic, and it does feel that way as I'm driving down these A roads.
Yeah, the main feature that you'll probably see with this, you will notice there's a lot more response to the steering and things like that. Although you can't feel a lot of it happening, a lot of the suspension dampers as well work very, very quickly to try and reduce body roll as well, the same way that both Range Rover models do. This one's just a little bit firmer in the way that it does it, again to give you that sense that you're driving a sport.
Yeah, I mean the first thing I feel when I'm driving it and turning into corners is there's less roll than I would expect in a big car like this. And this engine is the V6 diesel, very responsive, feels really good up hills and all the torque that you'd expect. What engines can you get in the car as a whole?
Well, now on the Range Rover Sport you can have this SD V6 version, which is just under 300 brake horsepower. We also now offer a 4.4 V8 diesel engine in Range Rover Sport, and as well you can have the 5 litre supercharged version in the petrol. The 5 litre supercharged is only available in the Autobiography model.
Adaptive dynamics include the dynamic program setting, which is selected via the terrain response system to give an even more engaging drive and further reinforces Range Rover Sport's on-road driving dynamics.
The dynamic driving mode is available on 2 of the different models out of Range Rover Sport, the HSE Dynamic and then the Autobiography Dynamic, which is a standard feature of both of those models. The dynamic driving style itself, it hardens the suspension and makes it more responsive by forcing the wheels back down quicker and allowing more grip and more traction, and also it amends like the throttle response that you've got as well, allowing you to have that little bit more power.
The Sport is even more impressive on the motorway, where the driver can cruise along relaxingly and feels incredibly stable.
So Ben, refinement of a Range Rover, you expect the best, don't you? And this car doesn't let you down?
No, again, in terms of the actual luxury and the overall finish of the vehicle, again you can see that you're surrounded by quality and the finishing way that it's done. What seems to have been a massive selling point for this particular vehicle is the refinement of the 3 litre SD V6 engine. The fact that you can have so much power and so much torque out of a 3 litre diesel engine and yet still get an average consumption between 30 to 35, and that of those other customers that have managed to achieve the 40. Again, it is all down to personal driving styles, but to have a vehicle that again is nigh on 2 tonne and still be able to achieve these sort of figures, again something that is unseen, and now that we've achieved at that point it's become the pinnacle really.
Cabin quality has long been one of Range Rover's strongest attributes, and the Sport delivers without question here. Every surface and switch feels classy, while electronic instrument dials are borrowed from the regular Range Rover.
One thing that's pretty apparent in this car, Ben, to me anyway, is that its visibility and just being sat behind the steering wheel, it's so easy to drive, and it just feels like you're at one with the car.
Yeah, the way it has been designed, it's been designed with you in mind as the driver, so everything's around your centre of gravity, if you like, so everything's just at an arm's reach. The buttons on the steering wheel are situated without you having really to move much. It is all done by touchscreen, it's all worded clearly for any system that you want to drop into. It's very, very easy to get used to and to use.
I always like to know what the trim levels are and things like that. What do we get in these cars?
Well, on the new Range Rover Sport we now start the base model at HSE, which is always with Land Rover being considered at the highest spec.
Yeah.
HSE now comes with the smallest engine, is a 3 litre SD V6 which we're driving now, which again is unbelievable amounts of power. The standard features of the car come with the automatic tailgate, so electronic boot, cruise control, Bluetooth, DAB radio. Again, with the Bluetooth himself, you can actually stream music directly from your phone straight through the stereo for those times when you have got bored of listening to it in radio stations. You can add TVs. Another standard feature, which is a good thing, the reversing rear camera.
Other driving aid options are adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and multi-cameras to assist with parking and manoeuvres.
You are towing, which a lot of Land Rover customers tend to do, with this particular vehicle being able to tow a maximum of 3.5 tonnes. It's got a very, very good towing capacity, the trailer stability control itself, the car monitors what's happening. If the trailer behind you starts to sway, if it is a badly mounted trailer in terms of weight distribution, or a caravan that's gone a bit of astray, the vehicle will notice that actually the car's being dragged from the back end and swaying. What it does is it uses trailer stability control to individually brake each wheel to try and recorrect the vehicle, avoiding a collision or a crash, or the trailer to actually jackknife in any shape or form.
The impressive residual values can guarantee that your Range Rover Sport will hold its value and potentially still be valued at more than 50% after 4 years.
Space and practicality. It's a big car, loads of headroom, loads of legroom. I'm just sat, feels like I'm sat watching the telly here. It's a nice place to be, and it's quite spacious.
It is, yeah, and the way they've designed it again around a family of 5. You can quite comfortably seat 5 adults in this car. There is the option to go for the third row seat and to have an additional 2 electric seats in the back, and they are literally, they fold up and down via electric buttons. They store underneath the rear floor, so again you don't lose any room by having those additional seats.
So the car as a whole is not just based on the driver being comfortable, it's about the whole.
It is the way you can set the functionality of it. You can base it around yourself and as your family or your passengers that you're taking with you.
The Range Rover Sport maintains Land Rover's refinement in the latest iteration, and no other premium SUV can compete with the comforts offered.
To book a test drive or to find out a little bit more, visit your local Perry's dealership, or you can go online www.perrys.co.uk, and to see more great videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and all other relevant social media sites.